Okay, think about this. Who ran the Underground Railroad? Who writes Wikipedia?
Hmm.
Volunteers. If I asked you that, would volunteers have been your first thought? Probably not, right?
Probably not, no.
But today, volunteering is really changing. It's evolving in ways that go far beyond what we might traditionally imagine.
That's right.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, we dig into them, and pull out the key insights to get you up to speed.
And for this deep dive, yeah, we're drawing from some really rich material.
Yeah,
We've got Volunteer Engagement 2.0, plus insights from thinkers like Toby Johnson, Susan J. Ellis, REF funder Beth Cantor. Quite a group.
definitely.
Well,
So our mission today, it's really to help you think differently about what's possible with social change. We want to untangle the forces shaping modern volunteerism, figure out how to harness that human impulse effectively.
and look at how innovation often comes from the outside in. Understanding these shifts is, well, it's crucial for making a real difference.
So where do we start? What's the fundamental change here?
It's a really fundamental shift in thinking. We're moving away from the old model of just keeping volunteers busy and happy.
Right, giving them something to do.
Yeah, exactly. To a much more strategic approach, harnessing their time and talent effectively to meet the mission of the organization.
Okay, that sounds simple, but it feels, well, pretty significant.
It is. It's about strategic alignment, not just good intentions.
Our sources really hammer home that citizen action, often unpaid, sometimes risky, is the backbone of most social change.
Absolutely.
So Susan J. Ellis calls volunteering an effective yet neutral methodology. How does that framing, that specific word neutral, change how we should view it?
Well, it's fascinating because that neutrality is exactly where the strategic power lies.
Yeah.
It's not inherently biased.
Meaning?
Meaning, think about it, pro-gun control groups and anti-gun control groups rely heavily on volunteers.
Right, both sides of almost any issue.
Exactly. Political campaigns, pro-choice, anti-abortion advocates,
Yeah.
they all use volunteers. It shows volunteering is a powerful tool, a methodology for getting things done, not just, an outpouring of goodwill.
So organizations have to be really intentional about directing that energy.
Precisely. It forces intentionality.
Which means it shifts from being just a nice thing to do to something essential for driving impact.
Yes, the principle is clear. Volunteer action can and should deliver real social impact. It needs to be strategic.
Focused.
It's like the United Way worldwide example,
Well, it's
focusing
like-
volunteers on education, financial stability, health.
Exactly. And look at the results they get. Their Readers, Tutors, Mentors initiative back in 2011. Over 300,000 pledges.
Wow.
And there's that great story about Sean Hughes in Hartford, Connecticut. Just showing up each week to read to these girls, he became a hero to them. Tangible impact.
And the numbers back it up.
Oh, yeah. Compelling numbers. 87% of thousands of kids gained skills. 80% of youth improved study habits. 78% improved in after-school programs. Real, measurable outcomes. That's what makes it strategic, not just feel good.
Right.
But to get that kind of return,
Yeah.
our sources are very clear. You have to invest.
Absolutely have to. It's not free.
Both businesses and nonprofits need to value human capital, just like financial capital. For companies, volunteering isn't just PR.
No, it hits the bottom line. Boosts employee satisfaction, morale, strengthens teams, enhances the brand. It's smart business.
But how does that investment translate for nonprofits? What's the return look like there?
Well, if you connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just altruism. It's a quantifiable return on investment, or ROI, for both the volunteer and the organization.
Okay.
Nonprofits that really embed volunteers strategically manage them well. They can generate something like 3 to 6 times the community value compared to the cost of managing them.
3 to 6 times.
Yeah. But the key takeaway, the nugget here is, volunteers aren't free. You get that massive return, but only if you make that strategic investment first.
Shifting from free labor thinking to leveraged capital.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the mindset shift.
And that idea of strategic investment, it leads us right into the changing landscape of who's volunteering and why. We're seeing huge demographic shifts.
Huge shifts, like the U.S. becoming majority-minority by 2060 and the aging population turning that old age pyramid into almost a square.
Which must challenge some old assumptions, right? Especially around generations.
Oh, definitely. Especially the generational piece.
I'm really curious about that. We hear constantly about massive differences between generations at work. Does that hold true for volunteers? Or is it maybe a bit of a myth?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Our sources suggest the research. Well, it's been unable to support any fundamental and systemic differences between generations.
Really, between boomers, Gen X, millennials, in things like work attitudes or job satisfaction.
Yeah. The research points elsewhere. It suggests things like personal characteristics, confidence, say, or job characteristics like the level of challenge and leadership qualities are much bigger drivers.
So if generational labels aren't the best guide for managing volunteers, what does make a difference as people age?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? It's more about life stage and specific experiences. For instance, younger workers. They're the most racially diverse cohort ever, often dealing with higher student debt. They're digital natives, maybe a bit more detached from traditional institutions. They want freedom, skill development, work-life balance.
And older volunteers, seniors.
Often delaying retirement, they might prefer more established relationships, respond really well to positivity. Their motivation often comes down to belonging, feeling needed, helpful, valued.
And those psychological contracts are vital for them, right? The unwritten expectations.
Absolutely vital. Breaking that trust, those unspoken agreements, can be really damaging.
Okay, so if we use these more nuanced age-related insights, how do we engage specific groups effectively? Let's talk millennials. They get such a bad rap sometimes.
They really do. Lazy, apathetic, selfish. You hear it all. But the data just doesn't back it up. I mean, 88% of millennials donated to charity in 2013.
88%.
Yeah. And they consistently say they want more meaning than just money.
DoSomething.org seems to have cracked the code here.
They're a fantastic example. That campaign for homeless teens. The top requested item wasn't a phone. It was a good pair of jeans. That insight drove everything.
And they use internships really strategically, too.
Totally. Paid internships are a hiring pipeline. 25% of their staff are former interns, and they treat them like an immediate focus group for ideas. Genius.
They even turned rejected interns into a success story.
Yeah, amazing. A staffer named Chris thought, hey, let's tap these rejected applicants for special programs, weekly competitions, leaderboards, fun prizes.
Yeah.
And that group accounted for nearly 20% of the impact in one campaign. It shows you can find talent anywhere if you think creatively.
Incredible. So the keys to engaging millennials seem to be recognize they're altruistic, they're a huge group, great interns.
Treat them with respect, absolutely. They respond to tech, Instagram, Snapchat, SMS. Let them use their passion points.
Don't treat them like kids.
Definitely not. And empower them. They can be your best marketers. Give them 2 T-shirts, 1 for a friend. And they love social volunteering, doing good with friends.
That Washington University dance marathon example fits too, quadrupled fundraising.
By empowering students, advisors, not dictators, making it fun, silly, crazy, and showing the impact. That's key.
And what about boomers? Mark Friedman's idea of encore careers, impact over income.
Yeah, that's a powerful concept. And organizations like JFS and PIH Health show how to do it practically. Invest in training, adjust expectations, figure out strategic roles for them.
Engage internal champions, pilot programs, then scale up.
Exactly. It's a methodical approach to harnessing that incredible experience.
These evolving motivations naturally lead us to new ways of engaging people, right? Beyond just showing up to paint a fence.
Absolutely. Which brings us to things like skilled and micro-volunteering. Big shifts happening there.
Okay, pro bono volunteering. Our sources define it as bringing top talent into areas where you maybe can't afford full-time staff.
Precisely. It's leveraging that estimated $15 billion in value professionals donate each year. Think marketing help, legal advice, IT support, things nonprofits desperately need.
And there's a clear difference between pro bono and just general volunteering.
A critical difference. Pro bono uses job-related skills to deliver a specific product, a marketing plan, a database. Hearts and Hands is more general help, like serving food.
The litmus test is the strategic impact on the mission.
Exactly. And Taproot Foundation has great principles here. Get the right resource for the job, be proactive, and be realistic about deadlines. Pro bono often takes longer.
Like 50% longer, the source said.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
And there's a roadmap. Prioritize, scope, secure, manage, scale. You can find this help from companies, consultants, individuals.
Professional schools, too. And the impact is real. One warm coat finding a strategic planner on LinkedIn, saving $15,000. That's huge.
Or Nin getting $80,000 worth of skilled work for free. That builds capacity you just couldn't buy.
Then there's the flip side, micro-volunteering. Jane Graven's called it bite-sized volunteering.
Short tasks, online, low commitment, like 15 minutes to 2 hours.
Exactly. Think tagging photos, translating short texts, quick research tasks. It exploded around 2008, the year of the micro-volunteer, with platforms like The Extraordinaries popping up.
And the UN volunteers think this is a major growth area.
One of the fastest growing, they project. Research shows rising demand for these short-term, flexible options.
Who's doing it? Mostly younger people.
Tends to skew more female, more under 24, yeah. And crucially, most people who try it recommend it. It lowers the barrier to entry for getting involved.
And technology underpins all of this, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Telecommuting surged 80% between 2005 and 2012. Virtual, micro, mobile volunteering. It's all booming.
But that leads to the connectivity paradox, or virtual distance. More connection, but maybe less real connection.
That's the tricky part. You can feel isolated even when you're digitally linked. How do you combat that specifically in volunteer teams?
Yeah, what are the pitfalls? Just assuming connection connection.
That's a big one. Digital links don't automatically build trust or shared purpose. Virtual teams can really struggle with that.
So the solutions.
You have to be intentional. Proactively cultivate community virtual socials, not just work meetings. Really clarify goals and roles so everyone's clear.
And allow for those water cooler moments.
Yes.
Sure.
That informal, interpersonal sharing is vital for building rapport and shrinking that virtual distance. Build social capital, not just tick-off tasks.
Social media is obviously huge here too, for recruitment, management, retention.
Instrumental. But it needs to complement other channels, not replace them. Your website, email. There is still crucial.
Smart tips like asking volunteers what platforms they actually use.
Yeah, simple surveys work.
Mm.
And actively fostering connections between volunteers helps retention a lot.
Security, though, that's got to be a major concern.
Non-negotiable. Staff need to set up the accounts, tie them to staff emails. Control is key.
And that tip about sensitive locations, having volunteers check out after they leave, not check in while they're there.
Crucial for safety and privacy. Clear policies are essential.
What about virtual volunteering for direct service, like online mentoring or crisis support?
The key there is integration. It can't be an add-on. It has to be part of the core program.
And screening must be intense.
Absolutely. It's protecting clients, screening out inappropriate people, ensuring privacy. Yeah, it means more than just a background check. You need online interviews to check their digital skills, writing clearly, responding thoughtfully. Avoid that Swiss cheese screening with holes in it.
One more innovative model. Hackathons for social good. Sounds fun, like kids playing in a sandbox.
Huh. Yeah, that's the idea. Encouraging creativity, risk-taking on tough problems. They're great for nonprofits needing tech help without big budgets.
What's the real strategic advantage, and what are the big hurdles?
The advantage is rapid prototyping, getting fresh eyes on problems, accessing top talent short-term. The hurdles. Logistics can be insane. Managing expectations is vital. They deliver prototypes, not finished products.
Right, not fully baked solutions.
Exactly. And you absolutely need a high-level internal champion to push past that organizational instinct to control everything and really let the creativity flow.
All these new models, pro bono, micro, virtual hackathons, they all point to needing a much more strategic management approach, right? Moving from reactive to proactive.
Definitely. Think of it like building a volunteer superhighway.
A superhighway.
Clear paths to impact, strong position descriptions, good training, real recognition, flexibility. Volunteers can get on, contribute, maybe take an exit ramp for a break, then merge back on later.
So it maximizes their long-term value, not just one-off tasks.
Exactly. Good infrastructure boosts impact and retention.
This links to the new volunteer mindset, doesn't it? It's not about keeping everyone happy forever.
Right. It's about finding the right role for the right volunteer at the right time.
And crucially, a volunteer leaving isn't necessarily a bad outcome.
Not at all. If they finished a project or their commitment, that can be a sign of a healthy project-based program. Success.
And finding that right role comes back to screening. You said it's often overlooked.
Hugely overlooked. But it's the only way to know if someone's a good fit. You have to interview people, understand their motivations, what they want to achieve, go beyond the basic checks.
Which leads to something tough, the art of saying no.
Very tough, especially for people.
Yeah.
But not saying no is risky. Risky for the mission, risky for the volunteer's experience if they're in the wrong role.
Like Mary at the museum. Happier and better as an archivist than at the front desk.
Perfect example. Find the right fit. And if there isn't one, it's okay, even necessary, to gracefully guide them out.
Another big shift needed, breaking down the silos between volunteer and donor programs.
Oh, absolutely. That traditional split just doesn't make sense anymore. Supporters are whole people.
So adopt a holistic view. Don't label people as just a volunteer or just a donor.
Exactly. Remove the labels that limit how you see them and how they can contribute. Time, money, advocacy. It's all support.
The National MS Society example, getting donor and volunteer teams to partner, focusing on shared skills like relationship building.
Yeah, and it highlighted the need for one integrated database showing all involvement, time, and money. That gives you the full picture.
And driving all this change is the volunteer engagement leader. Their role sounds incredibly complex based on that California State Library initiative.
It really is multifaceted. They have to seek input, get staff buy-in, cast a wider recruitment net.
Like partnering with Volunteer Match to reach totally new people. 80% first-time library volunteers.
Amazing. And they wear so many hats. Cheerleader, engager of leaders, training champion, communicator-in-chief.
Resource provider, reporter-in-chief, investment manager.
Oh, it's a pivotal strategic role.
And for those leaders, professional development isn't optional.
Absolutely essential. Nancy McDuff's canary in the mine analogy is perfect. They need to be vigilant, sense the shifts, signal the need to adapt.
Investing in yourself is key for sustainability in this field.
Totally. The power to change things starts with you.
Okay, this forward look brings us to a really provocative concept, the good apocalypse.
Yeah, it sounds dramatic, but it's insightful. First, let's quickly define cause marketing.
Okay, partnership between a nonprofit and a for-profit for mutual benefit.
Exactly. Win-win. Money and awareness for the nonprofit, halo effect, and sales for the company, but it's work. Nobody gets a free ride.
And its power is tapping into individual donors via brands they like.
Right. It lets nonprofits reach that huge pool of individual givers.
So, the good apocalypse. Joe Waters calls it a golden age of social responsibility, not an apocalypse at all.
Sort of. It's driven by these four horsemen. Millennials demanding purpose, the rise of social business, mobile tech everywhere, and social media connecting everyone.
They all feed into each other.
Completely interconnected.
Yes.
And this convergence created halopreneurs.
Halopreneurs, hybrid volunteer fundraisers.
Yeah. Think of Nick Reynolds and Chris Dobbins after the Boston Marathon bombing. College kids use smartphones, social media, a social business, raised a ton of money. Yeah. Individuals driving massive impact.
But that power shift creates challenges for traditional nonprofits, doesn't it? Businesses acting like nonprofits.
Big time. Panera Cares, pay what you can. Cafes. Dunkin' Donuts raising money for its own foundation. They're building their own philanthropic brands, sometimes cutting nonprofits out.
And donors acting like businesses, like the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Exactly. Individuals organizing huge campaigns without needing a nonprofit structure to kick it off. The agency has shifted.
So what's the imperative for nonprofits? They can't fight this tide.
No, they don't have the resources. The challenge, our sources say, is to build such a powerful brand, be so effective that businesses and halopreneurs want to partner with you, be so good they can't ignore you.
And the key tool for that is content.
Content is king. Quality blog posts, videos, infographics. That's how you attract partners and communicate your impact now.
Okay, one last crucial piece, national service.
Yes. Often overlooked, but so important. Volunteering is deep in America's DNA. 2/3 volunteer informally.
And CNCS programs like AmeriCorps and Senior Corps harness that impulse effectively.
They really do. They provide structure, training, focus. Look to Joplin after the tornado AmeriCorps managing 75,000 volunteers.
Or Operation Unite in Kentucky AmeriCorps tutors boosting math scores significantly. That's the triple bottom line.
Social, economic, human capital impact.
Exactly. And national service drives innovation too, like FEMA Corps using iPads during Hurricane Sandy to reach survivors directly.
Plus, partnering with CNCS brings benefits like brand recognition, federal support, accountability.
Loan forbearance for members, too. It's a really strategic partnership for impact.
Wow, we've covered a huge amount of ground, from strategic shifts to new models to the good apocalypse. So after this deep dive, what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Yeah, that's the big takeaway question, isn't it? In this world shaped by the good apocalypse, where lines blur between business and nonprofit, and individuals have immense power, how can you leverage these dynamics, whether you're a volunteer, a leader, or an organization? How do you make a real difference now?
How can your organization catch that halopreneur spirit? Exactly. How can you thrive by focusing relentlessly on impact, strategic engagement, and building a brand so compelling, so effective that others simply can't ignore you? That's the challenge and the opportunity.